can you give me an overview of what the company Unity Software does? And so I'm not going to read all of this because I got to get to bed. But, first bullet point is game development. Unity is primarily known for its game engine, which developers use to create both 2D and 3D games across various platforms, including mobile, PC, console, and VR/AR devices. It supports a wide array of scripting languages, primarily C, and has a vast asset store with pre-made assets to speed up development. I wonder if maybe there could be a collaboration between them and GameStop. That kind of collaboration would make sense, whereas a collaboration between GameStop and AMC would not really make sense. Also, real-time 3D content beyond gaming. Unity is used for creating simulations, visualizations, architectural walkthroughs, and other forms of interactive 3D content. This includes applications in automotive, film, architecture, engineering, construction, and more, with real-time 3D rendering is beneficial. And so kind of like relating to all of that stuff, kind of like, tinfoil hat maybe area, I just think about how as a kid, I really liked going to arcades. I miss the days of arcades. And one thing that GameStop's done with their war chest of cash that they have now is that they now have the, is it PCA grading? That you could do at their stores. And so it's like another reason for you to go into their stores, for bringing people into them. And thinking about how arcades used to be so cool, maybe they were like I'm thinking about the analog or like the 2D arcade. But now we're getting into this world of 3D augmented reality, AI. I wonder if GameStop could pivot, which would make sense, could pivot into not just a going into the store for the experience of purchasing your stuff, getting your cards graded, having an experience, but you could actually be having like maybe an immersive experience like you would in an arcade in the 2D analog world that we used to live in. Now we live in the digital 3D augmented reality world. And I think that maybe that would be super cool if there was some sort of, whether it's a partnership or collaboration, to have like a GameStop where it's an experience where you participate in an experience that is not something that you get from PlayStation or Xbox or Nintendo at a GameStop purchasing the games or trying out games. You actually get an immersive experience that is by GameStop, that you can only experience at GameStop. I think that would be super cool. Also, maybe, getting into the like Web3 space. So, I just think that Unity software seems really cool, and maybe it's a sympathy play or a collab play with GameStop. And this, we just see higher lows, 1390 here, low over here, which was so cool. I had some calls here, but I sold them too soon because following this move, I think when it got up to 20, I probably sold my call then. That's when the Bronx Viking and Colin Gladman started posting about this again. And it's like, oh my God, I'm missing out. But it's like, don't chase, wait for the next pullback. And so I waited for the next pullback. This pullback over here was to the 618/65% retracement, also known as the golden pocket. And that also pulled back to this purple downtrend, which was the neckline of this inverse head and shoulders pattern. That was an amazing, amazing dip buy opportunity, just like the dip buy opportunities I was talking about with Tesla at the beginning of this stream. And so with this dip here, we've got higher lows being formed. And following this move, I had this line at, the 786 around 20. I've got this alert here at 20, 786 at 1975, also corresponding with the midpoint of that channel. However, was the bottom of the channel tested over here? No. So like I said, take these lines with a grain of salt. And so I shouldn't put too much weight on the midpoint of that channel. And considering that this retracement was to the 786/65% retracement, I could see the retracement to the 618 here at 2167 being a notable bottom. And what was the low that we hit on December 20th? We hit a low of 2169. So just 2 cents above that low. And it's quite possible if I switch over to the 4-hour time frame, we actually dipped below 2167. We hit 2110. Looks like, I believe, during the pre-market on the 20th. And so that was, in my view, another great dip buying opportunity like we saw over here. And I think that this could be rallying to the next leg up. And so one way that we could get that next leg up would be a Fibonacci extension. So going from the low here to the high here and then down to here. And I would think that we'd be going to the 100% at least. And the 100% would be around 33. I believe I already had that drawn up there. Yep, I already had that drawn up there. Probably to the penny, so I take that, this number 3307, more so than the other one. And that could potentially be corresponding with the top of the shaded channel, around 30. But like I said, take it with a grain of salt. The bottom wasn't tested over here. The midpoint may not be tested over here. We may be breaking above the top here. And so I view that we could be going to around $33 in the next couple months, maybe the next month in January. But bigger picture, I think that we've got what might be the beginning of a formation. And this is hopium because it's not happened, but a left shoulder here, the formation of a head here with a test of around 40, let's say 40 to $45, formed the pit of the right shoulder before a pullback to around maybe 33, maybe coming down to, 25. And this, I think, would be playing out over the course of 2025, a move up to 45 within the year of 2025, and then maybe a pullback to $25, maybe 30, I'm not sure. But then following that, a measured move would put it at around $75 a share. So I feel like Unity Software is a good long-term investment at this point. So not specifically a trade. So I plan on swinging calls. I've got my 3 shares at $23, which I'm apparently in the red on them now. No big deal. It's only 3 shares. But I have a limit buy for 1 more share, and you do you. This is the way that I trade, and it's very passive and boring to get 1 more share at $22. If it goes lower than 22, I'd add another share at 21 or lower, and I just continue that down. And then if it really started to form a bottom, let's say around 20, I'd maybe more so get aggressive with those shares or get more aggressive with my call. Which is the $42 strike that expires on June 20th of 2025. I cover that in the weekly options videos, which I put out on Saturdays. They tend to be around 2 hours long. This past week was around 3 hours long. I need to just get better practice to streamline them, but I will have another video out going over the options on Saturday. And so, yeah, I hope that was helpful for you guys. I'm excited about all this stuff that we went over.